Welcome to Cittaviveka Buddhist Monastery, Sunday evening guided meditation. We will begin with the evening chanting in English, which is found on page 19 of the dark brown book after I light the candles and incense. Oh, let's see. There we go. Once again, page 19. To the Blessed One, the Lord who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and Blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching, so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples, who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. So, beginning meditation. We begin by assuming a posture that is comfortable, either seated on the floor or on a chair, something that ideally we can stay relatively still for about 45 minutes. And then we begin by being aware of the sensations of the buttocks or the feet on the chair or cushion. That grounding awareness into the earth. It's helpful to start with awareness relatively far from the head, which is where we imagine all the thinking happens. So being aware of these sensations of contact. And then from that firm ground, we can feel the upright axis of the spine rising up. We can imagine a fine string lifting the crown of the head ever so slightly. It can be helpful to check that we're neither leaning too far forward nor too far back. Although the spine feels straight and upright, anatomically it has a natural curve to it, which can be helpful to bring attention to. In particular, if we're able to, the spine from the buttocks goes forward, and then as it rises up, it curves back again towards the back. And this curvature gives it some energy. And so this is why sitting on a cushion can be helpful, because it accentuates that natural tilt forward, and then the corresponding bend backwards at the top, near the shoulders. So just to be aware of that, and find how much of this curvature is too little, how much is just right. And with the correct balance is energized, but not tense. And then from this posture, we can allow the rest of the body to relax around the central axis. The spine will hold everything up. So upright spine, shoulders a bit back, and neck naturally upright. Everything else can relax. Let the spine do all the work. No other muscles need to hold anything. And we can pay attention to the out-breath, which helps all this settle and relax. When the body is relaxed like this, one of the mindfulness, the sensations of the breathing easily come to the fore. And so we can ask ourselves, how do I know I'm breathing in? How do I know I'm breathing out? Breathing in and breathing out are concepts. But what's the actual experience? We can be aware of the flow of the air through the nostrils, the changing of temperature. Flowing of air through the throat. The rising of the chest. Rising of the shoulders, expansion of the chest. Sinking of the belly. And then the reverse on the out-breath. And we can choose one point in this, among these, to maintain our awareness, investigating right now, what does breathing in feel like? What does breathing out feel like? Noticing both the general patterns and the specific nature of this single in-breath and this single out-breath, at whichever point seems to be most prominent and most comfortable. And so we can practice like this for the next 5 minutes. If the mind has wandered, gently bring it back to the experience of in and out breathing. When we first think about the experience of breathing, what often comes to mind is the perceptions of the body moving as the air comes in and out of the lungs. And then we look for the sensations in the body that correspond to that movement. And this is one way to experience the breath, and it's quite helpful. But there are other ways to experience the breath as well. When we breathe in, the entire body experiences, energizes. There's a sense of rising up, brightening, enlivening. And when we breathe out, there's a sense of soothing, sinking, settling, calming. And these effects can be experienced in the entire body and in the mind, so that the experience of breathing becomes not just something that happens in one place, but something that pervades our entire experience. One of the ways to use this is that if we're feeling tired or sluggish or lacking energy, we can pay more attention to the in-breath and its associated enlivening qualities. If we're feeling restless or scattered, we can pay more attention to the out-breath and its associated soothing qualities. So we can continue practicing, both being aware of the physical sensations of breathing and the energetic experience for the next 7 minutes. If the mind is wandered, gently bring it back to the experience of in and out breathing. When the mind is content to be with the experience of breathing, particularly when that breathing is expansive rather than contracted, there can be a sense of ease and fullness, gladness and pleasure. Very natural. This provides an alternative form of well-being to that which we attempt to gain by pursuing sense contact, whether gross or subtle. This is very useful in meditation retreats, because when we can enjoy the meditation, we don't need to be anticipating the meal or tea time, as we're content right here. This meditation period is all that we need right now. When such well-being arises, it's helpful not to try to analyze it too much, figure out exactly what to call it and what it might mean in the suttas. It's helpful to recognize that it comes and goes. It's not something that we get it and, every meditation will be like this. You quickly realize that's not true. But what is helpful to do is to pervade the body with that experience of well-being. Let it sink in. Although that well-being could initially come from the mind, very helpful to have it embodied. How can one can use the breath to do that. Breathing in well-being throughout the entire body. Breathing out well-being throughout the entire body. And not trying to force it to be like that. Not trying to, I gotta find some well-being somewhere. Just wait at the breath, and it may eventually come. And if it doesn't, just stay with the breath. So we can keep practicing like this for the next 5 minutes. the mind has wandered, gently bring it back to the experience of in and out breathing. If the mind is staying with the breath, if it's enjoying the breath, that's good. It's a skillful state to abide in. But we can go further, because no pleasant state is permanent. We ordinarily perceive, I am breathing. This is my breath. But when the mind is both settled, clear, happy, we can investigate. We can investigate such ordinary assumptions. Look at all the experience here. There's lots of experience of breathing. But which experience owns the breath? Even the thought, this is my breath. Well, that's thinking. It's an experience, all right. But the thinking doesn't own the breath. The thought doesn't own the breath. And it's like a finger pointing at nothing. It's like, well, this is my breath. And, well, whose? And it's empty. We can't find the who. But the breath is very much here. And if the mind is really settled, stable, and happy, we don't need a who. This is simpler without it. There's a very strong presence. The mind not going anywhere other than right here. But the center is empty. So we can continue to practice for another 5 minutes. the mind has wandered, gently bring it back. As we near the end of the meditation session, it's helpful to bring attention back to the experience of the body. Letting go of whatever thoughts or reflections of emptiness and just experiencing the body directly. It can be helpful to review what was helpful during this period of meditation. Although we can never recreate the past, we can learn from it. And so perhaps there are directions that you'd like to explore in the future, meditating on your own. It's also helpful to recognize that the practice of meditation generates power or goodness that we can intentionally direct. We can imagine who we might like to share this goodness with. And this intention helps us to practice meditation, to imagine meditation not as a selfish pursuit, but as a way of bringing goodness into the world. We can close the evening with the verses of sharing and aspiration in English on page 33. Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing, may all cravings and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. Closing homage on page 29. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching, so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples, who have